All right, let's work through assignment number 9. So problem 1 asks us to determine whether each of these sequences are geometric. And if they are geometric, then to find the common ratio. So for this first one, 20 divided by 15 is what that would be 4/3. And 25 divided by 20 would be 5/4. So this is clearly not geometric. In fact, we can see that it's arithmetic because we're adding 5 to get to the next term. So let's just put not geometric for that one. All right, number 2. Here, our ratio between 5 and 25. So 5 divided by 25 is 1/5. And 1 divided by 5 is 1/5. And 1/5 divided by 1 is 1/5. So this does have a common ratio. So it is geometric. And the common ratio is 1/5. All right. C. All right, so here, negative 20 divided by 5 is -4. 80 divided by -20 is -4. And -320 divided by 80 is -4. So this is also geometric, and the common ratio is going to be -4. All right. And number 2 is the same type of problems. So A, -20 divided by -5 is 4, and -80 divided by 20, -20 is 4. -320 divided by -80 is 4. So this is a geometric sequence, and the common ratio is 4. The next one, and we can see that this is not going to be geometric. This is arithmetic. We're adding -5 each time. So we're just going to mark not geometric for that one. And then for this last one, part C, we've got 100 divided by 500 is 1/5. And 20 divided by 100 is 1/5. And 4 divided by 20 is 1/5. And so this is geometric, and the common ratio is 1/5. All right, number 3. The sequences below are either arithmetic sequences or geometric sequences. For each sequence, determine whether it's arithmetic or geometric, and write the formula for the nth term a sub n of that sequence. So let's look at this first one. 24 divided by 8 is, what would that be, 3. And 72 divided by 24 is 3. So that is geometric. And remember, the explicit formula for a geometric sequence is the first term, which is a sub n equals the first term times the common ratio, which is 3, to the n-1 power. All right. Next one. We have 8, then 11, then 14. So this one is going to be arithmetic because we're adding the same number each time. We're adding 3 to get to the next term. So a sub n is going to be equal to 3n plus the 0 term. So if we figured out what this term before the 8 would be, well, we'd subtract 3 from 8 and get 5. So the the formula is going to be 3n plus 5. All right. Number 4. Same type of question. So here, 9 divided by 2 is 4.5 or 9 halves. 16 divided by 9 is clearly not 9 halves. So let's see, are we adding the same thing? Yes, we are. 2 plus 7 is 9, plus 7 is 16. So this is going to be arithmetic. And a sub n equals 7, which is what we're adding each time, times n. And then the 0 term, if we subtracted 7 from 2, that's going to be -5. So this is 7n minus 5. All right. This next one, 40 divided by 8 is 5, and 200 divided by 40 is also 5. So this is geometric. We're multiplying. Oops. We're multiplying by 5 to get to the next term. And so that's going to be the first term, which is 8, times the common ratio, which is 5, to the n minus 1 power. All right. Number 5. Find the 12th term in the following geometric sequence. So let's write out a formula here. So a sub n is equal to the first term, which is 5, times the common ratio. Well, to get from 5 to 10, we multiply by 2, and then 2 to get to 20, 2 to get to 40. So the common ratio is 2 to the n minus 1. So to find the 12th term, a sub 12 is going to be 5 times 2 to the 12 minus 1, so 11. And then if we plug that into our calculator, 2 to the 11th power is 2048 times 5 is 10,240. So the 12th term is going to be 10,240. All right. Number 6. Find the 13th term of this sequence. So this is a geometric sequence, we're told again. So our formula is going to be a sub n is equal to the first term, 2, times the common ratio. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 18 divided by 6 is also 3. So our common ratio is 3 to the n minus 1 power. So the 13th term, a sub 13, is going to be equal to 2 times 3 to the 13 minus 1, which is 12. This is going to be a large number. So going to our calculator again, 3 to the 12th power is 531,441 times 2 is 1,062,882. All right. Number 7. So for this, I showed you on the video for this lesson. I showed you a method for finding this that will work for anything, but it's a little more complicated than we really need for this type of problem. If I were to see this problem on a test, especially a timed test, I would do it a little bit differently. And here's what I would do. I would recognize that the 4th term is negative 11/64. And the 8th term is negative 44. And so what I would do is find the ratio between these two by dividing negative 44 by negative 11/64. And so remember that dividing is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. So this would be negative 44 times 64 over 11. So let's see, negative 64 over 11. So that will reduce to 4 times 64. Negative 4 times negative 64 is 256. So positive 256 is the ratio between these two terms. But these two terms are not consecutive terms. There's 4 terms, or you have to add 4 terms. You're going up 4 terms to get from the 4th term to the 8th term. So what that means is that r to the 4th power is equal to 256. So what we're going to do is take the 4th root of both sides. So we're going to get that r, 256, the 4th root of that is going to be 4. So r is equal to 4. All right, so we know that for each term, we're multiplying by 4 to get to the next term. So we know that the 8th term is negative 44, and we're trying to get to the 12th term. So if we multiply by 4, the 9th term is going to be negative 44 times 4. So negative 44 times 4 is negative 196. No, sorry, negative 176. And then, so the 10th term, we'll just multiply by 4 again. And that's negative 704. Sorry, yeah. And then the 11th term, we're going to multiply by 4 again. That's 2,816. And the 12th term, multiply by 4 one more time. And the 12th term is going to be 11,264. So that's what I would do, is just find the common ratio. Don't worry about trying to find the first term and create a formula for it. And then you would do that for sure if they ask you, what's the 2,000th term in this sequence. You wouldn't want to just keep multiplying by 4 2,000 times. That would be ridiculous. But here, we only have to go 4 more terms from where we left off. And so it'd be easier just to multiply by 4 more times and get the 12th term of 11,000. Oh, actually, that should be negative 11,264. All right, last one, and we'll do the same thing on this one. So we're told that the 5th term is 31 over 625, and the 10th term is 155. And so we're going to divide these. So 155 divided by 31 over 625. Is 3,125. But there's 5 steps between 5 and 10, so that means r to the 5th power is equal to 3,125. So let's take the 5th root of our answer here, and we get 5. So r is equal to 5. So we're multiplying by 5 each time to get to the next term. And so if the 10th term is 155, and we're trying to find the 4th term, let's multiply by 5 4 times. So the 11th term, so we have 155 is the 10th term, the 11th would be 775, the 12th is 3,875, the 13th would be 19,375, and the 14th term would be 96,875. So we'll go over here, 96,875 going to be our answer for that one. All right, so hopefully, especially on those last two problems, hopefully this has been helpful. I know that the video for finding these terms was really confusing, and that is definitely the way that you would want to find it if you were presented with a more complicated problem. If you were presented with something where you had to find a term that's way down the road. But I think this way works best for a test type situation where you have just a few. You're just trying to find the 14th term when you're given the 10th, that type of thing. All right, so good luck on this, and I will have more for you next week.